Welcome to Startup Hack. Today we're going to talk about 7 myths that are untrue about being a software developer. And we're going to debunk these and go through these today. So let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome to Startup Hack. My name is Spencer Tomlinson. I am the CEO and co-founder of CleanRouter, as well as many other products. Here are some lessons that I've learned building a successful business while challenging startup norms. My challenge is to push you to rethink startup success.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and dig into the 7 myths that I hear all the time about what it takes to be a software developer and how I know that these aren't true. And I know these from a lot of experience. I've been a software developer for a long time. I've hired a lot of software developers, and now I'm training software developers in my new program called Startup Hack. So make sure you check out the website, startuphack.com. We're starting the class in a couple of weeks here, so make sure you get that checked out and then let's talk a little bit about some of these myths that might cause you to think you couldn't be a software developer, because you can absolutely be a software developer or a startup software developer, either one of those. So let's dig into these myths. So number 1, you need to have a specific degree. Now, I hear this all the time. This might have been true maybe even 10 years ago, but it's absolutely not true now. A lot of people, even all the big 5, are actually hiring software developers now without a degree. Now, I'm going to be honest, you might take about a 10% discount. You might get paid about 10% lower than somebody who has a degree. But if you're not spending $150K on a degree, then who cares? Like, that 10%, and that would only even be for the first couple of years. After 5 years of development experience, you can pretty much apply for any senior level job, and they may not even ask for the degree. I can't remember the last time somebody actually asked for my degree, and I've been developing for 20 years. So after those first couple of years, the degree really becomes irrelevant. It's really mostly to land that first job that they're really asking questions about the degree. Number 2, second myth. You need to be a genius to be a software dev. Now, I am going to say that, being smart helps, but at the same time, ultimately, software development is about perseverance and determination. Software development is just problem solving. And so all you're doing is taking knowledge that you have and applying it to solve problems. It's similar to somebody who builds a building or builds a house or builds anything. Like, you just need to know how to use the tools you have, solve the problems in front of you, and dig in. And a lot of times it just requires perseverance. It does require some good Google skills a lot of times, but ultimately that's really like the most important factor for being a software development. It is not just pure smarts. I guarantee you I've seen a lot of really smart software developers fail because they weren't determined or persevere enough through hard things. So you don't have to be a genius. You don't need a 170 IQ. You just need to be able to persevere, learn, and work hard. So number 3, it's hard to be a software developer. Now, that kind of goes a little bit with the last one. It's hard to be. Are there any kind of special requirements? Ultimately, at the end of the day, as a software developer, I work really good hours. I've rarely worked after 4 or 5 p.m. in my career. As a software developer, I work good hours. I sit in an air-conditioned home or office. Most of software development jobs allow at least some portion of remote, if not all remote. Honestly, the software development gig's pretty good gig. Frankly, I've actually started to say that software developers are kind of prima donnas. Like, we know that because we know that we're in high demand. And so, is it hard? Yeah, it's hard work. We work hard. I definitely want to hire and love to train those who work really hard. But at the end of the day, it's one of the best careers you can get. So honestly, I think it's a pretty good lifestyle at the end of the day. It's very good for families. It's really good with flexible hours. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, I think it's a fantastic development, career opportunity for you. So ultimately, is it hard to be a software developer? It kind of goes back to some of the myths about number 2, where you have to be a genius. I think pretty much anybody can really be determined and dig in. All right, myth number 4. You have to have really great math skills in order to be a software developer. Now, you are having to build some complex algorithms sometimes, but I kind of think it goes back to a little bit of what we talked about in number 2. We just really got to be determined. And so I can't remember the last time I actually wrote some math to do this. Right now I'm working with an accounting firm to do some specific tax credits software that does tax credits. I don't do any of it. They give me the CPAs give me the algorithm and what needs to go into what part of the forms. I'm not doing any math. I mean, there was, some very basic math that we're doing, but really it's not math. It's what is more important is understanding data structures and algorithms. Now, that sounds really complicated, and don't let that scare you away. I mean, if you can understand and look at an Excel spreadsheet, in general, you can understand most data formats. And so, again, I would say 90% of software developers out there that work in a corporate environment, just need basic level general math skills. So I definitely don't think that. I think some of that myth has come from the fact that a lot of software development kind of comes from the degree one, where a lot of software developers are required to have engineering degrees, and engineering degrees require a lot of math. So I had to do like 4 levels of college, or 4 years of college level math. I had to do in order to get my degree, to get a computer science degree. But as we said in number 1, you don't even need that anymore. And if you go check out startuphack.com, you'll see a great way that in one quarter you can get started on becoming a software developer. And so I really don't think this math skills thing is something you really have to worry much about anymore. So number 5, you need to know every programming language out there in order to be a software developer. This could not be farther from the truth. There are a lot of different software languages that I have never used or don't know anything about, and frankly never will. What you need to do is get proficient at the languages you're going to use, get good at them, stay current on them. But really, everything you need to know, you can learn in 12 weeks at startuphack.com, and that can put you onto a course to be a full stack software developer. If you can learn at 12 weeks, you're going to learn about 5 to 6 different programming type of languages, from web languages to JavaScript to other things. And as you learn that, that's really all the languages you're going to need to be able to do your job. Now, you always want to stay relevant and current, but that's staying relevant and current in any job. So any job's going to have that. So the biggest thing is you're not going to have to learn this plethora of new languages. And once you learn your first couple languages, all languages really are derivative of each other. And so all of them derive from C, and you're going to learn some C-based syntax at startuphack.com, and you're going to be able to start off right off the bat with that and learn some of those very quickly. So, and ultimately, it kind of goes to some of the next point that we're going to talk about. Myth number 6 is that you need years of experience in order to do this. Now, it is true that the developers who have experience are in demand, but how are you going to get the experience if you don't ever start? So that's why you got to go to startuphack.com today, get signed up, get started on the course so that you can start getting your experience. Because once you get a year or two in, man, the demand for a software developer is crazy. I got laid off in the very bottom of the economy at the beginning of 2009, when the economy had crashed in pretty much like every category. And I was out of a job for exactly 5 days. That's it. 5 days, and I already was starting to work on my next job. Software developers are always in demand. So you just got to get started to get that experience. And honestly, as you have more experience, learning new languages just becomes easier and easier and easier. Every new language you learn from there. And so get started at startuphack.com, because you can get started learning the first couple languages, which will get you all set so you can start start doing development today. And then as you do that, you're going to start right into your project before you even finish, and you'll be writing a real project and starting to get that years of experience right from the get-go. It only takes you 14 to 16 weeks. So in 1 quarter, you can be completely up to the experience that you need. Now, lastly, number 7, it's not creative. I have no idea who said this, because frankly, writing good code is kind of an art. It's more art than it is science, in my opinion. Writing good code is just, I've heard it said that you always want to write your code as if a deranged sociopath is going to be the one who has to maintain your code. And, really that's true, because you want to it's an art to write really good, clean code. And so it's not creative to me is really silly. I spend all day building diagrams, building systems. My brain hurts when I come out of my office at the end of the day. I work from home entirely. You can see me, I'm in the line to pick up my kid right now from school. But I spend all day with my brain running with creativity. I am literally building and creating things every minute of the day. And so I don't even know what to say about this. It's not creative myth, because to me, that's pure bunk. So make sure that you start with startuphack.com. Go get started in our coding bootcamp. If you start with that, but at the last 4 weeks, you're going to get a mentor who's going to help you set up your first project whether it's a project for work, a project for school, a project for some idea you have, a new startup, whatever it is. We don't really care, but you're going to get a one-on-one tutor who's going to spend an hour with you every single day helping you start your first project. So you're going to unlock creativity you didn't even know you had. So go and get signed up today. These are the 7 myths, and I hope that I've helped you feel a little more comfortable to feel that you can become a software developer, and that you absolutely should, because it's the best career you can find out there. And I've loved it. 25 years. I'm never leaving the field. I have no desire to leave the field because all these things are frankly silly. And so go get started today. Check out startuphack.com, and we will catch you guys next time.